Peppa Pig. Peppa loves our planet. It was Love Our Planet week at Playgroup. Peppa and her friends were very excited. "Welcome, children," said Madame Gazelle, pointing to a picture of the world. "This is Earth, the planet we live on." "Wow!" gasped the children. "The little things we do to look after our planet can make a big difference," continued Madame Gazelle. "Can anybody think of some things we can do to help?" "Recycle," cried Peppa. "Use less water," said Pedro Pony. "Grow our own snacks," squeaked Rebecca Rabbit. "Walk, not drive," said Zoe Zebra. "Save electricity," barked Danny Dog, switching off the light. "All excellent ideas," said Madame Gazelle. "Well done, but let's turn the lights back on for now, Danny, so we can see." "Okay," said Danny. "Now, children, I'd like you each to make a Love Our Planet scrapbook at home," said Madame Gazelle. "You can fill it with all the things you do to help look after our planet and then bring it in for show and tell." "Ooh!" gasped Peppa and her friends excitedly. They loved making scrapbooks and they loved show and tell. At home time, Daddy Pig arrived with Peppa and George's scooters. "Can we scooter home every day, Daddy?" asked Peppa. "It will be better for our planet if we don't use the car." "Great idea, Peppa," said Daddy Pig. "I love scootering." Daddy Pig raced off and Peppa and George scootered after him. "Wait for us, Daddy!" cried Peppa. When they got home, Peppa and George helped Mummy and Daddy Pig with dinner. "If we put the peelings in the waste bin, Grandpa can use the compost for his garden," said Peppa. "Then he can look after our planet too." "Lovely idea, Peppa," said Mummy Pig. "We can take them to Grandpa tomorrow." The next day, Peppa and George scootered over to Granny and Grandpa Pig's house with the food waste bin. "Thank you, Peppa," said Grandpa Pig, thrilled with his gift. "Over time, these peelings will turn into compost, which will be very fantastic food for my plants and will help my garden grow very nicely." "And it will help look after our planet," said Peppa. Then Grandpa Pig had a surprise. He gave Peppa and George a window box to take home. "These flowers are very important," he explained. "Bees and butterflies love them. We need insects to help plants make seeds." "Thank you, Grandpa," cried Peppa, buzzing around and pretending to be a bee. "I'm a busy bee, looking after our planet. Buzz, buzz," George giggled. When they arrived home from Granny and Grandpa Pig's house, Peppa and George watered their lovely new window box. "Look, George," cried Peppa. "All these bees and butterflies have come to visit our new flowers. We're looking after our planet." After lunch, it was time to pop to the shops. "Daddy, remember to bring some old shopping bags so we don't have to get new ones," said Peppa. "Great idea, Peppa," said Daddy Pig, picking up some shopping bags to reuse. "Right, let's go." Just as they were leaving, George pointed to the light switch. "He wants to turn off the light to look after our planet," explained Peppa. "Thank you, George," said Mummy Pig. I'll do it for you. From now on, your job can be to remind us to turn off the lights." George grinned. He was very happy with his new job. That evening, Peppa and George tidied up and put everything into the right recycling bins. "Let's sing the recycling song," said Peppa. "Recycle, recycle, we're going to recycle tin cans, bottles, newspapers. Recycle, recycle, we're going to recycle." "We'll take everything to Mr. Bull's recycling depot tomorrow," said Mummy Pig. "But there's still one more thing left for us to do today." "Our scrapbooks," cheered Peppa. Peppa and George used some of the cardboard from the recycling bin to make their Love Our Planet scrapbooks. Then they drew and stuck in pictures of all the different things they had done to help look after our planet. "Wow, what lovely scrapbooks," said Daddy Pig. "They're recycled, Daddy," said Peppa proudly. At bedtime, Daddy Pig was the last one to brush his teeth. "Make sure you turn off the tap while you're brushing, Daddy," said Peppa. "That way you won't waste any water." "Slunk slapper," mumbled Daddy Pig through a mouthful of toothpaste. The next morning at playgroup, Peppa, George and their friends showed Madame Gazelle their Love Our Planet scrapbooks. "Fantastic work, children," said Madame Gazelle. "You found lots of ways to look after our planet. I hope you've all learned that when it comes to looking after our planet, every little thing makes a big difference," shouted Peppa and her friends, finishing Madame Gazelle's sentence for her. Peppa, George and their friends love our planet. Everyone loves our planet. The end. Peppa Pig Dentist Trip. Every morning, Peppa and George brush their teeth. Scrub, scrub, scrub. "George, are your teeth as clean as mine?" Peppa asks, showing off her clean white teeth. "You both have lovely clean teeth. I'm sure the dentist will be very happy," calls out Daddy Pig. Later that day, Peppa and George are at the dentist, waiting for their checkup. It is George's first visit. "Peppa, George, the dentist will see you now," says Miss Rabbit, the nurse. "Hooray!" they both cheer. This is Dr. Elephant, the dentist. "Who's first?" he asks. "I'm first," replies Peppa. "I'm a big girl. Watch me, George." "Open wide, please," orders Dr. Elephant softly. "Ah!" Peppa opens her mouth as wide as she possibly can. "Let's take a look," says the dentist, checking Peppa's white teeth with a mirror. "There, all done. What lovely clean teeth," cheers Dr. Elephant. "Now you can have the special drink." Peppa spits the pink liquid out into the sink. It's George's turn next. George does not want it to be his turn, so the dentist lets him hold Mr. Dinosaur. "All done. You have very strong, clean teeth, George," smiles Dr. Elephant. "But wait, what is this?" cries Dr. Elephant. "George has very clean teeth, but this young dinosaur's teeth are very dirty." "The water jet, please, Miss Rabbit," orders the dentist. He uses the water to clean Mr. Dinosaur's teeth. Slosh, slosh, slosh. cries George, picking up a glass. That's right, George, says the dentist. Mr. Dinosaur needs some special pink drink. Gosh, what shiny teeth you have, Mr. Dinosaur, cries Miss Rabbit. Dinosaur! Arr! Snorts George. George loves Mr. Dinosaur, especially now that he has nice, clean teeth. The end. Peppa Pig, Tooth Fairy. Peppa and George are eating their favourite food, spaghetti. Suddenly, something falls onto Peppa's plate. What's that? Peppa cries. It's your tooth, Daddy Pig laughs. If you put your tooth under the pillow tonight, the Tooth Fairy will pay you a visit. She will take the tooth and leave you a shiny coin, says Mummy Pig. Good night, Peppa. Good night, George, says Mummy Pig. Good night, my little piggies, grunts Daddy Pig. Peppa puts her tooth under the pillow for the Tooth Fairy. Let's stay awake all night and see the Tooth Fairy, says Peppa. Giggles George. George, where's the Tooth Fairy? Peppa asks. She's very late. But George is so tired he has fallen fast asleep. I'm not going to sleep. Snores Peppa. When everything is quiet, something appears at the window. The Tooth Fairy has arrived, but Peppa is fast asleep. The Tooth Fairy pushes a shiny coin under the pillow and takes Peppa's tiny tooth. Peppa, George, wake up, it's morning, says Mummy Pig brightly. Did the Tooth Fairy come? Daddy Pig asks. No, says Peppa sadly. Let's look under your pillow, says Daddy Pig. Look, Peppa, the Tooth Fairy has been, and she's left you a shiny coin. Hooray! Peppa laughs. Next time I will stay awake and I will see the Tooth Fairy. The end. Peppa Pig, Peppa's magical unicorn. One rainy day, Peppa invited Susie Sheep to her house to play. Hello, Susie, cried Peppa when she arrived. Let's play with my horse. Peppa introduced Susie to her toy horse. Susie, meet Horsey Twinkletoes. Horsey Twinkletoes, meet Susie. It's very nice to meet you. Miss Twinkletoes, said Susie politely. Peppa and Susie galloped off to Peppa's bedroom together. Giddy up, Horsey, shouted Peppa, racing around her room on Horsey Twinkletoes while Susie watched. Daddy Pig heard all the noise and came upstairs to see what was going on. We're playing horses, Daddy, cried Peppa. I see, said Daddy Pig, seeing Susie sitting quietly. Do you think perhaps it's Susie's turn, Peppa? Asked Daddy Pig. Yes, replied Peppa. Come on, Susie, you can ride Horsey Twinkletoes now. I don't want to play horses, sighed Susie. I want to play unicorns. Peppa thought for a moment. Well, Horsey Twinkletoes is a magic horse, she said. She can be a unicorn whenever she feels like it. Oh, said Susie. Okay. Susie pranced around the room on Horsey Twinkletoes. Let's brush her beautiful tail, said Peppa. But unicorns have rainbow tails, said Susie. Oh, said Peppa. That's okay. We can put coloured ribbons in it. What a good idea, said Daddy Pig. You do that while I get you both a snack. Now we can fly on the sky on our unicorn, cheered Peppa. But a unicorn has a horn to hold when you fly, said Susie. Horsey Twinkletoes doesn't have a horn. Oh, said Peppa. That's okay. She flies so gently you don't even have to hold on. Peppa and Susie took it in turns to fly around the room. I wish Horsey Twinkletoes was a real unicorn, said Susie. And I wish he was really, really, really sparkly, added Peppa. I think Horsey Twinkletoes is tired, said Daddy Pig. Why don't you build her a den to sleep in? Yay! Cheered Peppa and Susie. While Peppa and Susie were busy building a den in the living room, Daddy Pig gathered some secret supplies for later. Wow, said Daddy Pig, when Peppa and Susie had finished. What a fantastic den. Can we sleep in it tonight, Daddy? Asked Peppa. Please? Of course, said Daddy Pig. If Mammy Sheep says it's okay, you can have a sleepover in the den. Hooray! Hooray! Cheered Peppa and Susie. After dinner, Peppa and Susie got ready for their sleepover. Please, can you read us a bedtime story all about unicorns, Daddy? Asked Peppa. Of course, Daddy Pig replied. When the story was finished, Peppa and Susie snuggled up in their cosy den and fell fast asleep. While Peppa and Susie slept, Daddy Pig picked up Horsey Twinkletoes, tiptoed outside, and quietly set to work painting. And painting some more, then sticking and sticking some more. And then Daddy Pig added the final touch. A horn. Daddy Pig sneaked back to the den to return Horsey Twinkletoes. Ta-da! He whispered. Then he went upstairs and was about to go to sleep when he heard, Wow! Peppa and Susie gasped loudly. They had woken up to find Horsey Twinkletoes had transformed into a magical unicorn. I told you Horsey Twinkletoes was magic, said Peppa. She's perfect, added Susie. The next morning, Peppa, Susie, George, Mammy and Daddy Pig all sat down for breakfast. Peppa told her family what had happened. And when we woke up, Horsey Twinkletoes had turned into a real unicorn, gasped Peppa. It's magic. Said Daddy Pig sleepily. How wonderful, said Mammy Pig. It sounds like you and Susie had the perfect sleepover. Yes, said Peppa, but why does Daddy have paint all over his face? Daddy Pig couldn't answer. He had fallen asleep at the table. After breakfast, Peppa and Susie headed off on a magical adventure with their new unicorn. I love your magical unicorn, cheered Susie. Me too, said Peppa. Everyone loves magical unicorns, especially Daddy Pig. The end. Peppa Pig, Peppa's First Pet. Splish, splash, splosh. This is Goldie the fish. Goldie is very special. She is Peppa's first pet. Mammy and Daddy Pig helped Peppa choose her from the pet shop a few weeks ago. Today, when Mammy Pig feeds Goldie, Peppa notices that Goldie doesn't look happy. Mammy, Goldie isn't eating her food, cries Peppa. Oh dear, says Mammy Pig. Maybe she's not feeling very well. Let's phone Dr. Hamster the vet. Dr. Hamster says that they should bring Goldie to see her right away. Let's take the bus, says Mummy Pig. Beep, beep. Oh, look, here it is. Hooray! Shout Peppa and George. One mummy ticket and 2 little piggies, please, Miss Rabbit, snorts Mummy Pig. And 1 fish, please, giggles Peppa. Miss Rabbit stops to pick up Mr. Bull. He is taking his tuba to the music shop to get it mended. Hello, your fish doesn't look very happy. Shall I play her a tune? What a funny noise. Next, Madame Gazelle and her friends get on the bus. Hello, Peppa. Oh, is your fish poorly? Let's sing her a song to cheer her up. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round all day long. At the vet, when Mummy Pig puts food in Goldie's bowl, Goldie grins and eats it all. Maybe Goldie was bored at home. The fun bus journey must have cheered her up, laughs Dr. Hamster. You have a very healthy, happy fish. She's lovely. Peppa is very happy. Mummy, it must have been the music and singing that made Goldie better, she giggles. And everyone on the bus home sings. The fish in the bowl swims round and round, round and round, round and round. The fish in the bowl swims round and round all day long. The end. Peppa Pig, Peppa's fishy friends. Goldie is Peppa's pet fish. Today she looks a bit sad. I think Goldie is lonely, says Peppa. She hasn't got any fishy friends. Maybe Goldie could visit the aquarium, says Mummy Pig. An aquarium is a place where there are lots of fish. Peppa and her family drive to the aquarium. I hope we can find a friend for Goldie, says Peppa. I'm sure we will, snorts Daddy Pig. The aquarium has every type of fish. Miss Rabbit works at the aquarium. Welcome, everyone, she says. Does the aquarium have every type of fish? asks Peppa. Oh, yes, replies Miss Rabbit. Probably. The tanks in the first room are full of tiny fish. Peppa starts to sing, Fishy, fishy, fish, fish swimming in the sea. Who will be a fishy friend for my Goldie? Could any of these fish be Goldie's friends? asked Daddy Pig. Peppa and Goldie look through the glass. No, decides Peppa. They are too small. Peppa tries the next room. Candy Cat is there with her mummy and daddy. Candy's family come to the aquarium all the time. It's better than watching TV, meow, Miss Cat beams. We like fish, adds Mr. Cat. What's in this tank? asks Mummy Pig. Daddy Pig jumps back. The fish in this tank is very big. This fish is too big to be friends with Goldie, decides Peppa. There's something funny in the next tank. Dinosaur, growls George. It's not a dinosaur, says Mummy Pig. It's a funny kind of fish called a seahorse. Peppa thinks the seahorse is too much like a dinosaur to be Goldie's friend. There's only one room left. This tank is covered in green slime. There's a fish with big long ears, gasped Daddy Pig. It's a rabbit fish. Peppa laughs. It is only Miss Rabbit wearing a diving costume. She is cleaning the glass. There are no more fish tanks. Peppa takes Goldie into the aquarium cafe. Hello, says Miss Rabbit. Did you find a friend for Goldie? No, sighs Peppa. Peppa spots a fish on Miss Rabbit's counter. That's just Ginger, says Miss Rabbit. My pet goldfish. My fish isn't lonely anymore, Peppa laughs. Goldie has found her friend. The end. Peppa Pig, the best pet. Peppa and her friends have pets. But whose pet is the best? Peppa has a pet fish.
Wow!
Is a fish the best pet? Pedro has a pet stick bug. Is a stick bug the best pet? Edmund has a pet lizard.
Wow!
Is a lizard the best pet? Zoe has a pet monkey. Is a monkey the best pet? Dr. Hamster has a pet turtle. She wins.
Hooray!
She has the best pet turtle. Peppa wins. She has the best pet fish.
Hooray!
Zoe wins. She has the best pet monkey.
Hooray!
Yes, yes, yes. All of the pets are the best. The end. Peppa Pig. Peppa visits the aquarium. This is Peppa's pet fish, Goldie.
Wow!
Every morning, Peppa gives Goldie breakfast. Time to eat, she says. Oh dear, Goldie is not eating. What is wrong with Goldie? Peppa asks. She looks a bit sad, says Mummy Pig. Oh no! I think she is lonely, says Peppa. She doesn't have any fish friends. Maybe Goldie could visit the aquarium, says Daddy Pig. What's an aquarium? Peppa asks. It is a place with lots of fish, says Daddy Pig. Oh goody, cries Peppa. We can find a friend for Goldie there. Let's go.
Hooray!
Peppa and her family drive to the aquarium. Miss Rabbit sells them tickets. The fish can go in for free, she says. Enjoy your visit. The first room has many little fish. Could one of these fish be Goldie's new friend? Asked Daddy Pig. No, says Peppa. They are too small. Peppa's friend, Candy Cat, is in the next room with her family. Hello, Candy, says Peppa. We are finding a friend for Goldie. The fish in this room look like little dinosaurs. Dinosaur, says George. These aren't dinosaurs, says Candy. They are called seahorses.
Wow!
Could a seahorse be Goldie's friend?
Meow.
Candy asks. No, says Peppa. They are too dinosaur-y. Everyone goes to the next room. The tank in here has a very strange fish. Wow, says Daddy Pig. This fish looks like a big eye. It is a big eye. on a very big fish. Maybe this one could be Goldie's new friend, says Mummy Pig. No, says Peppa. It is too big. There is only one room left to visit. But there are no fish in this tank. There's only green slime. Oh, and Miss Rabbit is in the tank too. She is cleaning it. The last stop is the cafe. We did not find a friend for Goldie, Peppa says sadly. Then Peppa notices a bowl on the counter. What is that? Peppa asks. That is my pet goldfish, Ginger, says Miss Rabbit. Goldie likes Ginger. Ginger likes Goldie. Goldie can visit Ginger any time she wants, says Miss Rabbit.
Hooray!
Goldie has made a friend at the aquarium after all. The end. Peppa loves doctors and nurses. It was people who help us today at playgroup, and everyone was excited. Now, children, began Madame Gazelle, today we have two very special visitors. They are both people who help us. Is one the Queen? Asked Peppa. Is one my auntie? Asked Rebecca Rabbit. Dinosaur, roar! Asked George. Three wonderful guesses, said Madame Gazelle. But the people coming to see us today are Dr. Brown Bear and Nurse Fox. Hooray! Cheered the children, jumping up and down. They loved Dr. Brown Bear and Nurse Fox. When I hurt my leg, I had to go to hospital, said Pedro Pony. Dr. Brown Bear and Nurse Fox looked after me. When I was feeling poorly, said Peppa, Dr. Brown Bear made me feel all better. Just then there was a noise from outside. The children ran to the window to look. Madame Gazelle, it's Dr. Brown Bear and Nurse Fox. Good morning, everyone, said Dr. Brown Bear. Today, Nurse Fox and I are going to talk to you about keeping fit and staying healthy. Let's start by going over to the playground and getting our bodies moving. Yippee! Cheered the children. They loved moving around outside. Dr. Brown Bear and Nurse Fox had built an obstacle course. To keep fit and healthy, we must move our bodies every day, said Dr. Brown Bear. Madame Gazelle will show us all how it's done. The children watched in amazement as Madame Gazelle completed the obstacle course perfectly. Ta-da! She cried. Now it is your turn, children, said Dr. Brown Bear. Ready, steady, go! Peppa and her friends set off. They swung, crawled, hopped, slid, skipped, and jumped around. This is so much fun, isn't it, Susie? Cheered Peppa, but as she turned to Susie Sheep, Peppa forgot to look where she was going and fell on her bottom. Oops! Cried Peppa. Nurse Fox came straight over. Are you all right? She asked. I think so, said Peppa. Good, said Nurse Fox, checking that Peppa was not hurt. You can carry on now, Peppa, but please be careful. Thank you for helping me, said Peppa. Peppa loved the obstacle course. This is my favourite bit, she cried, jumping high and landing in a big muddy puddle. I'm not sure that's part of the course, Peppa, said Madame Gazelle, smiling. Snack time, called Nurse Fox. Hooray! Cheered the children. Don't forget to wash your hands before you eat, said Nurse Fox. All the children went to wash their hands. Peppa and Rebecca sang the Wash Your Hands song. Wash, wash, wash our hands, wash them nice and clean. Bubbly, scrubbly, scrubbly, bubbly, wash them nice and clean. Eating healthy food helps us to stay fit and strong, said Dr. Brown Bear as he tried to open his snack box. This seems to be stuck. Nurse Fox, could you help me, please? Nurse Fox came over and opened the box easily. Nurse Fox, gasped Peppa, you must eat lots of healthy food to be that strong. Everyone laughed. Peppa and her friends loved snack time. Yummy, they cried. Keeping fit and strong was delicious. You've done such a good job today, children, said Dr. Brown Bear. When they finished, I'm going to give you all a sticker. Hooray! Cheered the children. They loved stickers too. Madame Gazelle brought out the dressing up box. It's time for you to be the doctors and nurses now, children, she said. Peppa and her friends had lots of fun dressing up. Dr. Brown Bear, said Peppa the doctor, you must keep fit and stay healthy too. Of course, he replied. The children took Dr. Brown Bear outside and told him to go around and around the obstacle course. One more time, cried Peppa the doctor. Okay, how's this? Gasped Dr. Brown Bear. When he was allowed to stop, he looked quite tired. Dr. Brown Bear doesn't look very well, said Peppa the doctor. I think he needs a plaster. And bandages, added Nurse Danny Dog. And more bandages, added Nurse Susie. Now he needs a sticker, said Peppa the doctor. All the little doctors and nurses covered Dr. Brown Bear in stickers. Thank you for being so helpful, said Dr. Brown Bear. He was covered in so many bandages he couldn't move. What a patient he was. What do we say to our visitors? Asked Madame Gazelle. Thank you, Dr. Brown Bear. Thank you, Nurse Fox, cheered the children, giving them a big clap. Clap, clap, clap. Peppa loves doctors and nurses. Everyone loves doctors and nurses. The end. Peppa Pig, Doctors to the Rescue. It is a sunny day. Peppa and her friends are playing outside. Pedro Pony shouts. Tiddles the tortoise is stuck in a tree. I can get him down, says Pedro. I'll give the tree a little shake. Pedro shakes the tree. Tiddles falls down and lands on Pedro's nose. Ow, says Pedro. That hurt. Madame Gazelle, Pedro is hurt, says Peppa. Do not worry, says Madame Gazelle. I will call Dr. Brown Bear. Dr. Brown Bear is a doctor who helps children when they are sick or hurt. Dr. Brown Bear answers his phone. I am on my way, he says. Dr. Brown Bear looks at Pedro's nose. You need a bandage, he says. The bandage makes Pedro's nose feel better. Thank you, says Pedro. But now my glasses do not work. Can you fix them? No, says Dr. Brown Bear. You need an eye doctor for that. Madame Gazelle calls Dr. Pony. Dr. Pony is Pedro's dad. He is also an eye doctor. He gives Pedro an eye test. Your glasses are just muddy, says Dr. Pony. He cleans Pedro's glasses. Hooray! Pedro's glasses are fixed. Pedro is feeling better. His glasses work again too. But Tiddles is still not well. We will call the vet, says Madame Gazelle. A vet is a doctor who takes care of pets. Dr. Hamster the vet arrives. Tiddles, you little pickle, she says. What have I told you about climbing in trees? Dr. Hamster flips Tiddles back onto his feet. Now he feels better. Just then, Dr. Elephant arrives. He is a dentist. A dentist is a doctor who looks after teeth. Are everyone's teeth okay? He asks. Yes, say the children. Then I will be on my way, says Dr. Elephant. But Dr. Elephant cannot leave. His car will not start. Who do we call when your car is sick? Asked Peppa. I know who to call, says Madame Gazelle. Madame Gazelle calls Grandad Dog. He knows how to fix cars. Good as new, he says. Hooray! Cheer the children. Grandad Dog is a doctor for cars, said Peppa. Even cars need doctors. All the doctors save the day. The end. Peppa Pig. Doctors. It is playtime. Peppa and Pedro Pony are playing in the garden when they hear a squeak from up in a tree. What's that noise? Asked Pedro. He looks up and gasps. It's Tiddles the tortoise. Don't worry, Tiddles. We can get you down. I'll just shake this tree and... Whoosh! Tiddles falls from the tree and bumps Pedro's nose on the way down. Ouch! Shouts Pedro. Madame Gazelle comes to help. Oh dear, what happened? She asks. Tiddles fell on Pedro's nose, says Peppa. Madame Gazelle calls the doctor. Dr. Brown Bear hurries over. Where is the patient? He asks. My nose hurts, says Pedro. Dr. Brown Bear gives Pedro a green plaster for his nose. That will make it better, says Dr. Brown Bear.
Hooray!
My glasses fell in the mud, says Pedro. You'll need an optician to fix them, says Dr. Brown Bear. The optician arrives. It is Dr. Pony. He is Pedro's daddy. Can you please read this chart for me, Pedro? Says Dr. Pony. I can't see. My glasses aren't working, says Pedro. Dr. Pony spots the problem. These glasses just need a good clean, says Dr. Pony. He carefully wipes away the mud and gives the clean glasses back to Pedro. I can see again, says Pedro.
Hooray!
Thank you, doctors. Everything is back to normal, says Madame Gazelle. But Tiddles needs helping too, cries Peppa. Can you doctors help a tortoise in trouble? Asks Madame Gazelle. I'm afraid not, but we know someone who can, replies Dr. Pony. I'll call them now. Dr. Hamster the vet arrives. Tiddles fell out of the tree, Pedro tells Dr. Hamster. Tiddles, you little pickle, says Dr. Hamster. She flips him over so he can stand up again. All of a sudden, Dr. Elephant the dentist appears.
Hello, I heard there was an emergency. Are everyone's teeth okay?
He asks.
Yes, thank you,
Everyone answers. Dr. Elephant sets off on his way.
my car won't start.
Cries Dr. Elephant. None of the doctors know what to do. I know who to call, says Madame Gazelle. Grandad Dog's breakdown service. Grandad Dog arrives. He opens up the car bonnet and has a look. Right, now try the engine, he says. Dr. Elephant's car has been fixed. Grandad Dog is a car doctor, cheers Peppa. There are doctors for everything, even cars. Everyone loves doctors. The end. Peppa Pig and the Ambulance. Dr. Brown Bear is visiting Peppa's playgroup to show the children an ambulance. Hello, Dr. Brown Bear, say the children. Hello, children, says Dr. Brown Bear. Does anybody know what this is called? Asked Dr. Brown Bear. It's a ambulance, says Molly Mole. And who can tell me what it's for? Asked Dr. Brown Bear. Taking sick people to the hospital, says Peppa. Can we hear the Nana Nana sound, please? Asked Freddy Fox. Yes, says Dr. Brown Bear, but we normally only use that in a real emergency. Dr. Brown Bear, can you show us what you would do in a real emergency? Asked Madame Gazelle.
Wow.
Yes, says Dr. Brown Bear. I'll show you using this teddy. Dr. Brown Bear checks that the teddy is awake, asks the teddy his name, and asks him what happened. Then he bandages up his arm.
Wow.
And because you have been such a brave bear, you get a sticker, says Dr. Brown Bear, giving the teddy a yellow, smiley face sticker.
Hooray!
Wonderful, says Madame Gazelle. Children, say thank you to Dr. Brown Bear. Thank you, Dr. Brown Bear, say the children. You're welcome, says Dr. Brown Bear. And remember, always look where you're going. Woo! Oh dear, Dr. Brown Bear has tripped over a ball. Oh no! Dr. Brown Bear is rolling down the hill, cries Peppa. He's rolled through a prickly bush, says Molly. And he's hit a tree. Apples have fallen on his head, adds Zoe Zebra. Oh, groans Dr. Brown Bear. Oh my goodness, gasps Madame Gazelle. Call an ambulance. The ambulance is over here, says Peppa. Quick, everyone into the ambulance, says Madame Gazelle. Hooray! Shout the children as they run into the ambulance. The ambulance gets to the bottom of the hill. Don't worry, Dr. Brown Bear, says Madame Gazelle. We are here to make you better. Thank you, but I don't need any help, says Dr. Brown Bear. The children check he is awake, ask him his name, and ask him what happened. I tripped over that ball and fell down the hill, says Dr. Brown Bear. That was a bit silly now, wasn't it? Says Susie Sheep. Which bit is hurting? Asked Pedro Pony. My arm, my leg, and here on my head, replies Dr. Brown Bear. Susie and Wendy Wolf bandage up Dr. Brown Bear. Because you have been such a brave doctor, you get a sticker, says Madame Gazelle.
Wow.
The children giggle. Have a sticker, have a sticker. They all cover him with smiley face stickers. Ah, oh, ow, cries Dr. Brown Bear. Children, say thank you to Dr. Brown Bear for giving us such a wonderful demonstration of how the ambulance works, says Madame Gazelle. Thank you, Dr. Brown Bear, cheer the children. It was my pleasure, groans Dr. Brown Bear. Dr. Brown Bear loves ambulances. Everyone loves ambulances. The end. Peppa Pig, Puddle Playtime. Peppa and George have found a puddle. It is very big and very muddy.
Hooray!
George scoops some mud into his bucket. Says Peppa. I love playing in muddy puddles. Touch the shiny bucket of mud. Mummy Pig has come outside with her umbrella. Time to put on your rain clothes, she says. Peppa and George go to get changed. The rain makes their puddle even bigger.
Wow.
Touch the shimmery raindrops. Look, says Mummy Pig. Someone else likes jumping in the mud. Peppa gasps. A little green frog has hopped into the garden. Touch the bumpy frog. 3 ducks have waddled up to see Peppa and George. Do you want to play with us too? Asks Peppa. The ducks jump into the muddy puddle. Touch the fluffy duck. Hello, snorts Daddy Pig. I hear there's some puddle jumping going on. There is, giggles Peppa. Jump in, Daddy. Peppa loves muddy puddles. Everyone loves muddy puddles. Touch the icky, sticky mud. The end. Peppa Pig and the Muddy Puddles. Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig are tucking Peppa and George into bed. There's so much rain, Peppa says. That means there will be muddy puddles to jump in tomorrow, Mummy Pig says with a smile. The splish, splash, splosh of raindrops on the window sings Peppa and George to sleep. They dream of muddy puddles. It rains and rains and rains. The next morning, the sun is shining. Daddy Pig runs out to jump in a muddy puddle, but he lands in a big pool of water instead. Oh, how did this water get here? Daddy Pig asks. And where are the muddy puddles? Asks Peppa. Our house is on an island, says Peppa. Oh dear, says Mummy Pig. What will we do? Granny Pig and Grandpa Pig arrive on their boat. Ahoy there, Grandpa Pig says. Wonderful boating weather. We're going to the store, says Granny Pig. Can George and I come too? Asks Peppa. Yes, we'll do the shopping for everybody. Polly can remember our shopping list. She's very good at that, Granny Pig says.
Wow.
Who's a clever parrot?
Who's a clever parrot?
Says Polly. Polly is very good at repeating what people say. Peppa George, Grandpa Pig, Granny Pig and Polly motor across the water. It's fun, but there are no muddy puddles. Each house is on an island. They go from house to house, asking everyone what they need from the store. Susie Sheep asks for chocolate.
Chocolate!
Polly repeats. Grandad Dog needs a newspaper and Danny wants a comic book.
Newspaper, comic book!
Polly repeats. Grampy Rabbit wants cheese.
Cheese!
Polly repeats. Grandpa Pig's boat arrives at the supermarket. Hello, says Miss Rabbit. What can I get you? Polly knows, Peppa says proudly. Polly opens her beak.
Who's a clever parrot? Who's a clever parrot?
She says. Polly has forgotten the list. Don't worry, says Peppa. I remember. So they got what's needed and go back to deliver everything. Cheese, says Grampy Rabbit. Thank you. A newspaper and comic book, says Grandad Dog and Danny Dog. Thank you. Chocolate, says Susie Sheep. Thank you. Chocolate for dinner, asks Mummy Sheep. Peppa and George are very sleepy when they arrive back home. Did you have fun? asks Mummy Pig. Yes, says Peppa. We got lots of things at the store. We got something for everyone. But Peppa is sad. She didn't get what she wanted. There were no muddy puddles at all. The next morning, the sun is shining brightly in the clear blue sky. Polly Parrot comes to visit. Grandpa Pig's boat is stuck on Peppa's front lawn. Oh, Granny Pig says, looking out from the boat. The flood is over. The houses that were on islands yesterday are now back to normal, sitting on top of their hills.
Hooray!
The water that Peppa and George boated in is gone.
Wow.
And at the bottom of their very own hill, they see a great big muddy puddle. Big enough for everyone. The end. Peppa Pig, Peppa's Muddy Puddle Walk. Peppa and George are visiting Granny and Grandpa Pig. It's Muddy Puddle Walk Day, says Peppa. What's that? asks Granny Pig. It's a sponsored walk with playgroup, says Peppa. We're going to jump in muddy puddles all the way. Splat! shouts George. The walk is to raise money to help people, explains Peppa, and to get really, really muddy. I love getting muddy, says Grandpa Pig. Can Granny Pig and I come along too? Yes, says Peppa. Madame Gazelle says that having lots of people will make the walk even more fun. Shall I bring this giant chocolate cake I made? asked Granny Pig. We can sell it at the walk. Yes, please, says Peppa. Miss Rabbit has a cake stall.
Hooray!
Oh, sighs Grandpa Pig.
I was rather hoping I could have a slice.
But Grandpa, says Peppa, it will help us to raise money.
As everyone puts on their boots and gets ready for the walk, Peppa sings a song.
Who loves muddy puddles? We do, we do. Who loves muddy puddles? We do, we do. Daddy and Mummy, me and George, we're all going on a muddy puddle walk. Have you got your boots on? We do, we do. Have you got your boots on? We do, we do. Granny and Grandpa, me and George, we're all going on a muddy puddle walk.
When they arrive, Granny Pig takes her cake to Miss Rabbit's cake stall. Then Madame Gazelle asks everyone to head to the starting line.
Wow.
Now, says Madame Gazelle, has everybody got their boots on? Yes, everyone cheers. Okay, ready, steady, go, calls Madame Gazelle. Grandpa Pig reaches a very deep, muddy puddle.
Jump in it, Grandpa,
cries Peppa. Okay, says Grandpa Pig. He jumps straight into the very deep muddled puddle. Everyone gets very muddy, jumping in all the muddy puddles. At the end of the walk, Peppa and her family each get a sticker and a certificate.
Fantastic news, everyone, says Madame Gazelle. We've raised lots of money.
Hooray! Everyone cheers.
Granny, says Peppa, where's Grandpa gone?
I don't know, Peppa, says Granny Pig. Grandpa Pig arrives carrying Granny Pig's chocolate cake.
All that jumping made me a bit peckish,
he says.
So I bought this. Anyone for a slice?
Everyone laughs. Peppa loves Muddy Puddle Walk Day. Everyone loves Muddy Puddle Walk Day. The end. Peppa Pig. Peppa goes to London. Once upon a time, Peppa and her playgroup went on a day trip to London. When they arrived, Madame Gazelle told everyone to gather round. "Children," she said, "this is London." "Wow," gasped Peppa, "it's so busy." London was a very big and very busy city. There was so much to see that Madame Gazelle couldn't decide where to go first. Miss Rabbit had an idea. "My friend the Queen lives in London," she said. "Maybe she can help." The Queen's house is called Buckingham Palace. Miss Rabbit went up to the front gate and rang the bell. "Yes," said a very grand voice. "Who are you?" "It's Miss Rabbit," said Miss Rabbit. "Ah, come in," the voice said. The voice belonged to the Queen. "Hello, everyone," she said. "Hello, Queen," shouted the children. "We're visiting London for the day," said Peppa, "but we don't know where to go." "London is my city," said the Queen. "I shall give you a guided tour." Hooray! The Queen led Peppa and her friends out onto the street. She flagged down a bright red bus. "Mr. Driver," she said, "please may we borrow your bus?" "You must be joking," sniffed the driver. "No," replied the Queen, "I am your Queen." The driver helped everyone onto the bus. If the Queen asks you to do something, you must do it. Peppa had never been on a bus like this before.
It has stairs in it,
she gasped. The Queen showed the children up to the top deck. From up there, they could see everything. Ding, ding! The bus set off. First stop, Big Ben, said the Queen. The bus stopped in front of Big Ben. Big Ben is a clock tower, said the Queen. It helps us tell the time. Edmund Elephant shook his head.
Actually, Big Ben is the bell inside the tower, not the tower itself.
Edmund knew a lot for a little elephant. Edmund was a clever clogs.
That was loud,
exclaimed Danny Dog. That was the sound of Big Ben telling us the time, said the Queen. It rang 3 times, so it is 3 o'clock. Pedro Pony had a question.
If the clock rang 6 times, would that make it 6 o'clock?
Yes, it would, said the Queen.
And if it rang 100 times, he wondered.
Then it would be broken, said the Queen.
Oh,
said Pedro. The Queen drove the bus to Tower Bridge. Stop! Shouted the bridge keeper. You can't cross here. The Queen was not amused. Why not? She asked. I'm sorry, Your Majesty, said the bridge keeper, but a ship needs to pass under the bridge.
The ship is coming, said Peppa. It is very tall. It's going to bang into the bridge,
shouted Danny Dog. The bridge lifted up just in time, and the ship sailed through. Good, said the Queen. Now we can be on our way. Please lower the bridge. The bridge keeper shook her head. Another ship was coming. The Queen wanted to get going. Peppa and her friends couldn't wait around all day. Hold tight, everyone, she cried. The bus zoomed onto the bridge, and then crunk! It got stuck in the middle. Now what do we do? Asked Miss Rabbit. Everybody move to the front of the bus, ordered the Queen. 1, 2, 3, go! Shouted Peppa. The bus started to tip and wobble, and then zoomed down the other side of the bridge. Hooray! The Queen was very good at driving buses. Are you enjoying the tour? Asked the Queen. Yes, Your Majesty, bellowed the children.
Open-top buses are the best,
said Peppa.
Why aren't all buses like this?
A raindrop fell on her head. Drip, drop, plop. That was why. Children, said Madame Gazelle, open your umbrellas. The bus chugged through the rain to Trafalgar Square. Oh dear, sighed the Queen. What a shame. It's full of puddles. The Queen was right. There were puddles everywhere. She frowned. I think our tour is over.
Aww,
groaned the children as they climbed off the bus. Peppa jumped in a puddle. George jumped in a puddle. Then everyone jumped in a puddle.
we love puddles,
Shouted the children.
Come and splash, Your Majesty, called Peppa. It's fun.
Why not? Said the Queen. One is wearing one's boots. The Queen loves jumping in London puddles. Everyone loves jumping in London puddles. The end. Peppa Pig. Peppa meets the Queen. Peppa and her family are watching television. Suddenly, there is a special announcement from the Queen.
The Queen, the Queen! Peppa cheers. Hello to you all, the Queen says. Today I have decided to give an award to the hardest working person in the country.
Wow!
The hardest working person in the country is Miss Rabbit. At the supermarket, Miss Rabbit is closing the shop when Mr. Zebra the postman presents her with a golden letter. Miss Rabbit, please come to my palace to get a medal for all your hard work. Bring friends, all the best, the Queen. I can't visit the Queen, I've got too much work to do, Miss Rabbit panics. Don't worry, Peppa says. The Queen has made it a holiday. It is the day Miss Rabbit visits the Queen. Peppa and her friends are going to. We're off to see the Queen, we're off to see the Queen. E-I-I-D-O, we're off to see the Queen. Here we are, Miss Rabbit squeaks.
Wow!
Look at all the fancy stuff. Woof, Danny Dog says. Don't touch anything, Miss Rabbit warns. Where is the Queen? Emily Elephant asks. Queen! Susie Sheep calls. Where are you? In another fancy room, there is a lady sitting on a throne knitting. Hello, Peppa says. Have you seen the Queen today? I am the Queen, the lady says. The children are very excited to meet you, Your Majesty, says Miss Rabbit. I'm excited to meet all of you, the Queen says, standing up. And now for Miss Rabbit's medal.
Wow!
This is the Queen's award for industry. Keep up the good work. The Queen puts a shiny gold medal over Miss Rabbit's head. Cheers for Miss Rabbit, the Queen says. Hip hip, hooray, shout the children. Miss Rabbit and the children wear their boots to go out into the palace gardens with the Queen. Do you play in your garden all the time, Your Majesty? Danny Dog asks. I don't have time for playing, no, answers the Queen. She suddenly stops. Oh dear, a muddy puddle. Never mind, we can walk around it. You can't walk around a muddy puddle, Peppa says. You have to jump in it. Peppa shows the Queen how to jump up and down in a muddy puddle. I say, that does look fun, the Queen says. Here one goes then. Stop! Shouts Peppa. Everyone gasps. If you jump in muddy puddles, Peppa says, you must wear your boots, Your Majesty. The Queen goes inside and comes back with her boots on. Everyone loves jumping up and down in muddy puddles, including the Queen. The end.
Hi kids, did you have fun watching this video? Then like and subscribe for more.